welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we want to do the last part of our Stormblood Dark Knight quest, yeah. And we begin here with Sadoro and Riel. God damn it, Myste. We're going to have to track him down and make him return to the remainder of the ether he stole from me, aren't we? He said that when this was finished, naught would remain of him. Bloody awake and ominous, to say the least. We just have to press him for answers when we find him. You last saw him in Dwalga's Reach in Galbania, yes? We'll start there. I'm going too, and I won't take no for an answer. Sid's gotten better, but he's a long way from full recovery. Besides, you'll need someone else to help you do the talking. Sid's not good at it. Okay. Okay, let's start at Dwalga's Reach. Okay. What's that? You looking for that boy too, are you? I was watching some birds late the other night when I hear someone skulking about behind me. Forgive me, I hear him saying, before he runs off and disappears into the dark. When I realize it's quiet. Too quiet, Sleeping birds make noise and mine ain't. 'Cause they're dead. Every last one of them. No wounds or any other obvious marks. But there they lay, like the life was sucked right out of them. I don't know how or why he did it, but there's no denying that he did. I demand recompense. If you find him, you bring him to me. Ah yes, I remember the long-haired boy. Very curious, with many questions about the nature of ether. He conversed with one of the other conjurers for a time. I know not what they discussed, but from his expression, I gathered it was important. Looking for a young boy with long blue hairs, you say? Reckon I would remember someone like that if I ever come this way. And I don't. Spoke with a fella before me during the changing of a guard as we do, and he made no mention of anyone matching that description either. I have a bad feeling about this. I hope Myste hasn't done something stupid. Our inspector returns. Tell us, have you learned aught of Myste's whereabouts? Seen conversing with a conjurer and possibly killing chocobos. Not sure what to make of that, though we can be sure he stayed here for a time. But perhaps no longer. We learned but moments ago from Gilo here that a boy matching Myste's description was seen leaving the Reach. He's for the peaks, and so are we. No visible injuries, no bleeding. Aye, it's as Riel says. These beasts died for no discernible reason, just like the chocobos that man in the Reach claims Myste somehow killed. But it doesn't add up. However, in his singular magic, Myste was utterly helpless. Unless... was he always capable of this? But we know the answer already. He stole your ether when we first met. Even if he could do it, even if he did do it, why? We'll ask him when we find him, and this time, you let me do the talking. Search for east. Riel and I will head south. We'll meet in between if we find Nord, and if we do, either you will come to our aid or we to yours. As you survey us around him, you observe Nord out of the ordinary, but on the edge of hearing, you hear a whisper to the southwest. No, mother... Seven hells, I hate being right. On your guard, Myste has shown his true colors. The ether or whatever else he took from those beasts has given him tremendous strength. Contrary to his earlier warnings, conjuring another simulacrum wasn't the end of him. And of all the wonderful people he had to pluck from our memories, he chose Ishgard the Collignon. He knows why we're here, and this is his answer. He summoned the monster that haunts Riel in her dreams and sent her screaming from her bed. Forgive me, Seth, but you gave me no choice. Say your name, your real name. Shall I ask you the same? Who holds the reins? Though it matters not, we are complicit, you and I. Can you even remember why you came here? Can you even remember how many you killed? How many lives shattered? How many stories ended? Upon the surface of a crystal are carved the sins of dark nights past. And yours are beyond counting, beyond fathoming, without end. Justice is an excuse. Nobility is a lie. Murder is murder. And though we are most definitely not without a fault, it is this cruel, indifferent world which has made murderers of us all. But we need suffer no longer. I sought to make these broken souls whole, one by one, when in truth the solution was much more simple. A world beyond pain and suffering, anguish and despair. A world beyond death. A world in which we never need bid farewell to our dearest friends. And how many beasts will you need to kill to make this world of yours? How much evil will you consume to see it through? It's bloody self-righteous sophistry from a mewling whelp. So your brilliant plan is to fill the world with simulacra of the dead, is it? And somehow that's supposed to make everyone happy? Well, you're right about one thing, I grant you that. This world is brutal, uncaring, without logic or justice. No justice, but that which we make ourselves. And I'll be damned if I give up so you can force your illusions upon us to assert your guilt. Did you not find comfort in your reunion with your master, even though you knew it was a lie? Did it not help you to unburden your soul, to find a measure of peace in this madness? I'm not your enemy. Not then, or now. I will not fight you. All I ask is that you leave me to do my duty. It's never too late to turn back. You're still a good person. You can still be a good person. So this is your answer. Maybe you cannot accept what needs to be done. But I can. Goodbye. Ours is the greatest lie of all. We have to end it. Ilbert. Wow, oh. Now we're getting mean, boy. So many broken by this world, and then by you. So many. Woe betide the man who stands opposed to the weapon of light, for death will be his reward. Death for him and his kin, and all that he holds dear. Woe betide the man who stands with the weapon of light, for death will be his reward. Death for him and his kin, and all that he holds dear. Like sand through the hourglass, everything we fight so desperately to protect slips through our fingers. And what remains is us, only us, and the memory of our sin. To walk this path is to suffer, to sacrifice. Listen to my voice. Listen to our heartbeat. Justice demands no less. Serve, save, slave, slay. I have since aplenty, aye, but regrets not so much. And if she wouldn't listen to me, the embodiment of good sense and pragmatism, then what hope could you possibly have? A house divided cannot stand, you know. This childish rebellion ends now. What in the seven hells is this? The dark side. A compromise, I suppose. Our dear friend here refuses to let me take the reins. But I wasn't about to stand idly by while that imbecile tries to do whatever it was he was trying to do. No hard feelings about Whiterun, huh? Promise not to stab you in the back? It'll be just like old times. A dark knight needs a sword. Take mine. No, this is wrong. This is all wrong. I offer you peace, restitution, a chance to make amends. Do not think you are above it. Do not think that the reckoning will be postponed indefinitely. The Warriors of Darkness and the Temple Knights. No, the Heaven's Ward. When it comes, I shall welcome it with open arms. But today will not be the day, and you will not be the judge. We deal with it last vendor boy. Simple plan. Again and again you kill. Do you feel nothing? You know my heart. It bleeds like all others. These scars and sins are ours to bear, not to deny. But you, boy, I deny. Yours is a coward's way. The throne of bone she waits. Dug deep for those magnificent bastards, didn't you? Lest you forget we bested them before. Come on! Yeah, that is... I'm still wearing 60 equipment, right? And that is noticeably here. Why? Why won't they answer? He's grown too weak to summon more shades. The cowards fought silent in the abyss. Finish it, Serenia, you soul eater! Reclaim the last of the ether, make us whole. A reckoning will not be... Forgive me. Forgive me, I ask, I beg, I pray, but it never comes. Again they go to join the multitude in the black oblivion of the abyss. Such is our lot. Such is the fate of all who are born, to suffer and to die. Do not seek forgiveness, for it will not ease the burden. It weighs as it should. But what of the lost? Do they not deserve to live again? They do. In our hearts, and our souls, and our memories. No one likes having to say goodbye, but it's a part of life. That's what makes the time we share together so precious. You can't obsess over the mistakes of the past, or you lose sight of the future, of the people still with us, who need us more than ever. The greatest strength is born of a flame in the abyss. Listen to my voice. Listen to our heartbeat. Listen. I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. Thank you. That is all I ever wanted. So this is it. One last parting. One final farewell after a fashion. In your darkest hour, in the blackest night, think of me, and I will be with you. Always. For where else would I go? Who else could I love but you? And back to Ishgard directly. Okay. Can anyone explain me what happened there? You'll forgive us for returning to Ishgard ahead of you, I hope. I needed some time to think on everything that happened in Gyabania. I won't pretend to know everything you've been through in your life. A man can never truly understand what's in another's heart. And probably not their own, for that matter. I'm pretty much rambling at this point, but I suppose what I'm trying to say is that I'm grateful for everything you've done for me and Riel. I like you, I respect you, and I'll always be here for you if you need me. We are fellow walkers of the path after all, and friends, I'd like to think. I've been wondering, Myste appeared the same time the soul crystal cracked, yes? But which happened first? And why then and where? Damn it if I know. Does anyone truly understand how soul crystals work? What matters is that the crystal and Serenia have been made whole. That said, a heart bleeds, a man weeps, a soul burns, thence comes the darkness to consume. And few hearts have bled as much as hers. Speaking of bleeding, I think your wounds have reopened. If you had Sid, it would be much easier for me to tend to them. You should get some rest too, Serenia. Not all wounds are so obvious. Out of the mouth of babes and sucklings. Praise her, Lorna, she's right though. No need to overdo it by running off to your next battle just yet. If you must put one foot in front of the other though, why don't you go back to where the whole damn mess began? Maybe you'll have an epiphany. It was up here. What troubles you, Mr. Shadowstar? What troubles you, Mr. Shadowstar? But of course, 'tis bitterly cold this day. At times like these, one should be warming themselves by the fire. Not a day goes by without your name being spoken, you know. The soldiers and merchants often bring us news of your latest exploits. That said, to hear it from the hero herself would be much preferable. But there would be no expectations for you to call on us. ready to call on us. The pleasure of your company alone would be more than enough. Wherever I expect it will be in the days to come, but your destiny was never to remain here, was it? Though a part of me wishes that you would. Forgive me, I find myself growing more and more sentimental in my old age. And in working on my memoirs, I had to recollect on darker chapters of my life. Orchefant lived his to the fullest, and if his story is preserved for generations to come, then I should be glad of it. You will always have a place here, Serenia, for you are family. Now go. Do not let me keep you from your labors. The world waits for none, not even you. With that, we learn the Blackest Night. And get a coffer of equipment. From the depths of the abyss you hear whisper that are filled with warmth. This concludes the Dark Knight quest for Stormblood. Okay, but until next time when we continue playing Final Fantasy XIV, not certain what, I'm Mace and don't get lost.